Welcome to another F1 video. We at F1 Central thank you for your support. In today's video we will discuss Ferrari's 2022 F1 season. Let's get right to it. For the famous Scuderia, 2022 was a massive disappointment as how the season started and the expectations were so high after this. There were numerous issues as to what went wrong in 2022 for Ferrari. They started off with a strong showing at the first two races, taking podiums in both events, but eventually Verstappen ran away with the title. Ferrari was a second and sometimes third best on the race weekends. Today we will not be talking about what exactly happened in 2022 but the main issues that caused Ferrari to fall short. Let's get right into it. The main issue Ferrari had in 2022 was the engine issues that the team had. For a team to win any title in Formula, you need a reliable engine as shown by Mercedes for the past 8 years, but Ferrari clearly did not put enough thought into the reliability of their engine. They may have had a very powerful engine in terms of pace, but there was clearly a major issue for not only Ferrari but any of the customer teams who had that wasteful Ferrari power unit in the back of their car. On two big occasions, Charles Leclerc's engine would go whilst he was leading the race in both Spain and Baku. These two pivotal moments in the early stages of the season took the wind out of Ferrari's sail and hurt their title hopes. For all the fans who love wearing that Ferrari red, you hope that in 2023, they fix the reliability of the engine so they have a chance of taking the title away from Red Bull's hands. Their best driver was Charles Leclerc, who finished the season in 8th place in the Drivers' Championship. Let's see how he does in 2023. Lack of consistency was only seen in Ferrari's engines, but in their drivers as well. Of course, we are talking about the driver mistakes of both Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Leclerc's crash when leading in France comes to mind when you speak about driver errors from the Ferrari drivers through 2022. When you compare Leclerc to Verstappen, it is clear who is the better and more mature driver as through 2022. Verstappen, when leading the race, made no mistakes and did not give points away to Leclerc. They were unable to put together a string of consistent results and challenge for the championship. Their biggest wins were in the first two races of the season, with Charles Leclerc taking a podium in both. They also achieved a 1-2 finish in the Spanish Grand Prix. When both Sainz and Leclerc threw away easy points to Verstappen and Red Bull, they would lose massive points which cost them the championship. They have to improve on this in 2023. Do you think Ferrari has the best driver lineup on the grid? Let us know in the comments below. One of the biggest issues that Ferrari had in 2022, that luckily has been changed for 2023, is the lack of leadership from their team principal, Matteo Binotto. Binotto had a very strange approach to the 2022 season with his no-blame culture, which pretty much meant that no matter what mistake was made, nobody would be told off, and this was criticized by many. There was a clear and obvious thing that was going on with Ferrari, and Binotto just could not handle the pressure of being in a title fight and having high expectations from both the fans and the media. You can kind of understand it, as ever since he joined in 2019, this was their best chance to win a title and they had the car for that. Just not the personnel, hence him being replaced for 2023. If it isn't the team principal in 2023, who could Ferrari blame? Speaking of personnel that were to blame in 2022, you cannot forget about the awful strategy calls that were made by the team. There are so many that we will be here for hours telling you all about them, but today we are just going to remind you all of one: Hungary. This was a massive chance for Leclerc to get points back at Verstappen with him starting 10, but what did Ferrari go and do? Totally mess it up. They thought that it would be a wise idea to put on the hard tires when they were awful and hardly anyone used them, and when they did, they were shocking with no pace and no grip. But the smart people at Ferrari bolted them on the car when Leclerc had a good chance of a race win. What an utter disaster. Our point is that you cannot make these errors on so many occasions if you want to become a dominating team in the sport. When you look at Red Bull and Mercedes over the years of dominance in the last decade or so, they make nowhere near as many errors as Ferrari did in 2022. Yes, they both made mistakes in some areas, but Ferrari was doing it in almost nearly every race, from having unsafe releases to what happened in Hungary. It was unacceptable, and the team have to fix this in 2023 or they will become an even bigger laughing stock. With Binotto gone, will the strategy somehow become better? Yes, that's for us to find out in Bahrain. Overall, it is pretty fair to say that Ferrari made too many errors and had many issues in 2022, but they do hope that next year it's another fresh start and they can go back to dominating as they did with the great Michael Schumacher. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to drop a like and hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one.